Alright guys, we are here to review the best Raw of 2023 so far. Now yeah, technically it is the first Raw, the only Raw, so it has to be the best, but the show actually wasn't that bad. I can guarantee you this will not be the worst Raw of 2023. Anyway, welcome back guys to Fog Wrestling. I had to get that shite joke with over at the start, but it's done and dusted. The New Year jokes are now officially gone, and I'll have another 363 days to think of more for next year. But forget about next year. It's all about the year 2023. Is this the year where wrestling gets good again? Well, let's find out. We start the show with the Bloodline. They start destroying things at ringside. They're bashing the tables. They're throwing chairs around. They're trying to disrupt Raw. Sami Zayn gets on the microphone and says the Bloodline run the show. We've heard all this before. They said that they ran all the shows in 2022 and they're going to do the exact same thing in 2023. Kevin Owens' music hits. He's about to come out. He's going to stop them. Kevin Owens versus the Bloodline 4-on-1. On his own. He could probably eat them all if he wanted to, so why not? Why can't he take them on in a wrestling ring? But before he can, Adam Pearce comes out. Adam Pearce says no, it's not going to go down this way. He tells Kevin Owens, don't do it. He calls for security, and security come out and they get beat up by the Bloodline. So security didn't really do much. I say he got beat up by the Bloodline. They all got beat up by Solo Sikoa. So it was like one man just smashing security. Then Kevin Owens gets in the ring by himself. He gets beat down, and then all of a sudden the Raw roster get in the ring. They beat up I say the Raw roster, it was all the bums and jobbers on Raw. They beat up the Bloodline. The Bloodline retreat. Then Adam Pearce says, Bloodline, don't think you're getting away with it so easily. And he books a match. He says he's going to book them in several matches tonight. So the Bloodline, every single member is going to be in a match. So one minute he's like, they're not here, they're not allowed on Raw. But the next minute he's saying that they're going to be competing on Raw. Make up your mind, Adam Pearce, seriously. We get back for the break and he books two matches. He booked Solo Sikoa versus Elias in a street fight, street fight, some shit like that. And then a 6-man tag match between the Usos, Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens and the Street Profits. Like, why not do something cool? Why not do something interesting? When I originally seen this happen and he came out and said they were going to compete, I thought he was going to do the Bloodline versus the Raw roster. Remember they did this back in the day with Orton and Cena, so I thought, you know what, it would be cool to do it with the Bloodline and the Raw roster, especially considering the people they're facing. Apart from like Kevin Owens, they're all pretty much bums, they're not important, so it wouldn't really be burying them for them to lose. But no, they don't do this. They just give us boring fucking matches. So didn't want to see a 6-man tag match. I didn't want to see a stupid street fight with fake phony weapons, because WWE can't do street fights anymore. When was the last time we got a good one? All these gimmick street fights now are all the same garbage, man. They're all shit. They're never any good. And I don't know, Elias versus Solo Sikoa just doesn't really interest me. But that's the two matches that get announced. Then we get Alexa Bliss versus Bianca Belair. Women's title, you know, pretty decent. Belair is dominating the start. Then Bliss begins to take control. Bliss hits some big moves. Looks like Bliss could potentially win. Then she sees some guy dressed with like a Wyatt mask at ringside. Then she sees another. She keeps looking around her and there's like just a bunch of guys dressed in Wyatt masks. So I mean, I'm sure she's familiar with being around a bunch of guys, but maybe even wearing masks, but maybe not maybe not inside a wrestling ring. So yeah, she kind of goes crazy. She attacks Belair. She DDTs Belair on the steel step. She starts jumping on top of the referee and beating him up. What a lucky guy. And that's it. There's blood. I don't know who the blood came from. It looked like Belair's lip. But Belair's got massive lips, so if she did get busted open in the lip, she'd probably bleed to death. So I'm going to assume that the blood came from somewhere else. But anyway, it was a decent match, and then the ending after it, you know, where Bliss just beats the hell out of Bianca Belair was pretty good. Then we had the Music City Street Fight, boring match, Elias versus Solo Sikoa. They used the guitar, but really, who cares? Solo Sikoa wins. Simone Spike off the top rope. Not a lot to say about that. Then we get the 6-man tag match straight, so it's one Bloodline match straight into another. It's the Usos versus Sami Zayn, and the Usos with Sami Zayn versus the Street Profits and Kevin Owens. Montez Ford wasn't interested because his girlfriend Bianca Belair was beat up earlier in the night. This was a weird match. The fat guy from the Street Profits literally just like stayed on the outside the entire time. Don't know what his problem was, but he didn't want to get involved. Dawkins. So yeah, Sami Zayn and Usos got the win after Sami Zayn hit a big haluva kick on Montez Ford. Just a boring match. Like I said, they could have done something interesting if they'd done the roster versus Bloodline, but nah, fuck it. We don't get anything interesting. Definitely not. Then we got Chad Gable versus Dexter Lumis. Chad Gable kind of wins in like an upset. He does like a cradle pinfall on Gable, then escapes the ring quickly. I mean, this guy's supposed to be a monster. This guy's supposed to be like a serial killer. Why the fuck does he need to get quick wins and then escape the ring? You know, it made no sense to me. I think they've completely butchered the Dexter Lumis character. Then we get a Cody Rhodes like video package segment. It's basically just what he's done before in the company, saying that he wants to win the belt for his dad, and then it shows you his injury, and I think he's coming back soon, so who knows, maybe he's coming back for the Rumble. Then Damage Control come out to the ring. God's sake, I mean, the show's actually not been that bad up to this point, but Damage Control always takes a point or two after the rating. Bayley wishes Trashville a happy new year. They boo her. I don't blame them for booing her. Any city could boo Bayley, and I would completely agree with them. Becky Lynch comes out. Then she says that Bayley's a coward. She calls her a dope, says she's a fake and a fraud. She says that last week, 2 weeks ago, she called Sky and Dakota Kai the lackeys because they're doing all the hard work while Bayley takes the credit. But then she says that she was wrong and that it's only a matter of time before one of them turn on Bayley. How's she wrong? If Sky and Dakota Kai are doing all the work, if they're doing all the hard work while Bayley takes the credit, then that does make them Bayley's lackeys. So yeah, Becky Lynch here, she looks hot. I'm not going to deny that, but she'd be better if she didn't talk. Honestly, just come out with your little ass showing in your fishnets, get in the ring, wrestle a fake match, and then, you know, leave. Or strip naked and then leave. I don't know, do one of them, but just, I don't know, her promos, she's not the person she was in like 2018. I always thought she was overrated back then, but I think she was cutting a lot better promos a few years ago. Since her return, just not doing it for me. She's not the man anymore. She's just another chick on the roster. Then she gets in a tag team match. She gets in a 2-on-1 handicap match, but for some reason they call it a tag team match, and then Corey Graves says it's essentially a handicap match. No, it was a handicap match. It was 2-on-1, mate. Do the numbers. 2 versus 1. So that's a handicap. But because apparently Adam Pearce did make it a tag team match, that meant halfway through the match, Michin came in to make the save, so it was going to be 2-on-2, but then Michin ends up taking the pin thanks to a moonsault from Io Sky. So yeah, Michin comes in to save Becky Lynch but ends up losing. Just made Michin look weak. Io Sky did some weird sort of fucking sexual pin on Becky Lynch during this match, by the way, and then she did an HBK pose after the match, so I don't know what she's doing, but she's breaking my heart here, goddamn sake. The heartbreak Sky, because yeah, I like you. I like Io Sky. She's attractive. I like her. Anyway, Damage Control win. Kathy Kelly's then backstage with Seth Rollins. He asks who's ready to sing tonight in Nashville. Rollins says 2023 is already looking like 2022. The Bloodline trying to take over his show and Austin Theory trying to take his spot. I mean, if he's so bothered about the Bloodline trying to take over his show, why didn't he go out earlier in the night and beat the shit out of them? Why didn't he stop it? Instead, he just hung backstage like a pussy. So what's Seth Rollins' problem here? I don't get it. Honestly, I don't get it. Then we see Alexa Bliss walking backstage. Brian Saxton says to her, "Why did she do that?" Bliss doesn't really give her any like answer, and she just walks off. So there you go. Then we got, this was good. Then we got like the announcers told us what happened with Dominik Mysterio turning up at Ray's house on Christmas, and that he was interrupting the Mysterios, Christmas celebration, their Christmas Day party, and then the fact that Dominik got arrested, and then they show you Dominik, and he's cutting a promo from inside the prison, and he talks about how prison changes a man, and he says that he talks about having to do hard time, and it's like he says that this ain't over between him and Ray. He says that does Ray think this is a game? He says that he managed to survive prison after doing hard time, and that that prison changes a man and that it's not over for Dominik and he's going to get his revenge on Rey Mysterio. Then he says to Ripley that he'll see Mammy soon and he calls her Mamacita. But it was funny, Dominik Mysterio literally did like an hour or two in jail and he's talking about hard times and how prison changes a man. It's crazy. I mean, this guy is definitely the most improved wrestler in the last, or character should I say, even in the last year. You know, I actually like Dominik Mysterio now. He gave me Eddie Guerrero vibes in this little segment as well. Plus with the toothpick kind of reminded me of Razor Ramon too. So, you know what, I really like Dominik Mysterio. Easily my favourite member of the, not the Bloodline, the, what do you call them? What's that group he's in? I can't even remember the name. The Judgment Day, that's the one, the Judgment Day. So yeah, I like Dominik Mysterio, and hopefully we get Dominik versus Rey at WrestleMania. I think we will, and it should be a good match. But anyway, that's it. Now we move to the main event. It's going to be Seth Rollins versus Austin Theory. US title match. You know what? It was a decent match, but again, it was just a match to end the show. Nothing really happened. Seth Rollins injured his knee, couldn't really capitalise, hit all his big moves, hit his pedigree, hit this Falcon Arrow, but Seth Rollins kept kicking out. And then Seth Rollins could not get the win because Austin Theory basically refused to be beaten tonight. And then Austin Theory hits him with a low blow. Then he took out Rollins' leg, and then he hit the ATL in the middle of the ring for a 1-2-3. So Austin Theory, even though he did kind of cheat to win it, he looked a bit strong because he managed to kick out of a lot of Seth Rollins' like signature moves, and then he beat him with his own finisher, even though Seth Rollins had a bad knee and he hit him with a low blow. But Austin Theory gets the win. Then he just stands in the ring posing with his belt. Nothing extra to finish Raw. No one coming out to challenge Theory. No one, you know, coming out. No surprise returns. No debuts. Just Austin Theory essentially beating Seth Rollins and then celebrating with a mid-card title. That was the ending to Raw. I mean, was it worse than the majority of the Raws I've seen lately? No. It was actually alright, but was it anything special? Did it make me think that WWE is going to be great in the new year? Absolutely not. The two title matches were okay, even though kind of screwy finishes in both of them. I really like the Dominik Mysterio segment. I thought that was good. So you know what, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10. I'm going to give Raw a 3 out of 10 for the two title matches and for the Dominik Mysterio promo. Honestly, the Bloodline stuff was so disappointing. I thought they were teasing the Bloodline versus the Raw roster, but instead we just got, you know, a shit street fight and a throwaway 6-man tag match where you knew what the outcome was going to be. You just knew that the Bloodline weren't going to lose to the Street Profits. So yeah, I'm giving it a 3 out of 10, guys. Let me know what you think down below. Hopefully NXT's better, hopefully SmackDown's better, but this wasn't the worst Raw. It was okay, but it could have been better, and it should have been better. Anyway, guys, that's it. No Rumble qualifiers. Maybe we'll get some for the rest of the week on SmackDown, but that's it. Till next time. Peace.